What up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of According to the Content. Hope y'all are enjoying the channel and the videos so far. Um, Things are starting to come together a little bit on the channel, and I feel pretty good about the direction that I'm headed with the content going forward. Um, and My next few videos, you guys will start to kind of see that direction a little bit. So, hope you guys like it and enjoy it. But with that being said, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. That helps us get into the YouTube algorithm and gets our channel pushed out so more people can see it. So we really appreciate that. We're brand new and trying to get our followers, our subscribers up, our views up. Trying to get out there to you guys. But anyway, with that being said, let's get into today's video. Um, Today's video is going to be about, I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why I believe Diddy will beat his federal criminal case. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, reason number one, the feds overcharged him. Now, when Diddy was arrested back in September of 2024, and I remember that night vividly because the night that he was arrested, that was actually my anniversary, September 16th. So, it's a date that I can easily remember. He was originally charged with three federal criminal. I'm sorry, he was originally charged with three federal crimes: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, and transportation to engage in something that I'm not sure if I can even say on my channel because I don't want to get banned or anything like that. But you already know what he's charged with. Now, I'm not a legal expert or anything like that, but I have seen several prominent lawyers in the media all claim that the fact that this so far is just a one man RICO, it doesn't make too much sense. Plus, the fact that the feds haven't really made it crystal clear as to what they're actually charging him with. Um, that's also a little bit crazy as well. Now, yes, they have the criminal counts in the indictment, but then they also talk about other allegations um, against Diddy, such as running a criminal enterprise. They mentioned kidnapping, illegal firearms, arson, etc., etc. But it's just not really clear exactly what they're charging him with. And when they lump all those other allegations together, it just seems to me like they put everything under a RICO racketeering conspiracy to lump all the allegations together without specifically narrowing down exactly what Diddy was actually doing that was illegal. So, reason number two, the Fed selling Cassie as a victim that can be easily torn apart on the stands under cross examination by the defense attorneys. And here's why. Well, because not only was she a willing participant in the so called freak offs per Diddy's defense team, but she was also with the man for over 10 years. And this appears to be nothing more than just a long term toxic relationship. And if that's the case, then that's certainly a bad thing, but it's certainly not illegal. If she was truly a victim who was trafficked, assaulted, forced to stay, etc., then why did she stay for so long? Why did she make so many public appearances with Diddy and speak so highly of Diddy in numerous public interviews? Why weren't the cops ever notified and police reports ever taken? How come she kept accepting the lavish gifts that Diddy kept giving her? How come she appeared at public events just days after being assaulted on camera? And y'all know the video that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the hotel video beating that was caught on the security camera, and I think CNN were the first ones to report it and release it. Furthermore, if the trauma and the abuse of being under Diddy's thumb for over a decade was so detrimental, how was she able to move on to her now husband and have their first child all within 2 years after breaking up with Diddy? I mean, if things were truly that bad for her physically and mentally, don't you think nurturing a new relationship, jumping into a quick marriage, and having a child all within 2 years of each other would be the last thing that would be on her mind after such traumatizing life events that she alleged scarred her for years and years, even to this day. Now, listen, I'm not trying to cast Cassie as a liar or even diminish what she's alleging in her civil lawsuit that she filed and what she's alleging in the criminal case, because after all, she is a victim in the case. But if I'm asking these questions about her, then what do you think Diddy's high powered legal team will ask when she takes the stand, as is being reported? Reason number three: myself and legal experts still can't wrap our heads around this whole one man RICO deal. So let me explain. Diddy was charged with a racketeering and conspiracy throughout the various indictments. Um, I'm sorry, and throughout the various indictments, there's several mentions of him being the head of and running a criminal enterprise that was used to facilitate various crimes. Now, when I think about someone running a criminal enterprise, or the words RICO, racketeering, conspiracy pop up, two things come to my mind. One is the mob. Back in the day, the creation of the RICO laws, that's what ultimately crippled the mob and got many of the old school mobsters, not only charged, but also convicted and ultimately sent away to long prison terms. And then the second thing that I think about when I hear RICO or racketeering or criminal enterprise is that no one runs an alleged criminal enterprise alone or by themselves. So where are Diddy's co-conspirators at? How can he be a one-man criminal enterprise participating in a racketeering conspiracy? Just doesn't make any sense at the moment. Now, that could also be for a few reasons. One of those reasons could be that the others who were involved have turned against him and they have agreements in place to avoid prosecution. Um, there could also be unindicted co-conspirators, which are mentioned in the subsequent superseding indictments that have come down since he was originally charged and indicted in September. But even then, the co-conspirators that are mentioned, they haven't been charged yet. So maybe they will be revealed closer to or at trial, which is certainly um, possible. But my whole point here is that a one man RICO so far with no co conspirators who've been charged is kind of crazy. Point number four: the quickness of how soon this case is going to trial. So back in March of 2024, Diddy's Miami and Los Angeles homes were raided by the feds. Reports of a grand jury convening to listen to evidence to possibly file charges started to surface in early summer, which ultimately then led to his indictment and subsequent arrest on September 16, 2024. A trial date of May 5th, 2025 was set at a court hearing on I'm sorry, in October of 2024. Now, most people, including myself, thought that this trial date would not happen that quick and that it was going to take at least 18 months, probably even 2 years before he would see a trial happen. But as of right now, that's not the case. Diddy has always maintained his innocence, and his legal team hasn't made any effort to significantly delay his trial. In fact, they've been pushing for a trial as quickly as possible to prove his innocence. Even with the three superseding indictments that have come in 2025, Diddy's trial is still scheduled as of the filming of this video to begin May 5th with jury selection and opening arguments to begin on May 12th, which is only about 8 months after he was arrested back in September. Usually, federal cases take years to go to trial because you have the entire US government and their unlimited resources against you, not in just 8 short months. Innocent people want to fight for their freedom, while the guilty will rather delay and stall as much as possible when it comes to criminal allegations, a lot of times. And this brings me to my last point. The feds have yet to drop the hammer in any of his four indictments that would signal a slam dunk conviction. Now, I mentioned earlier that Diddy was originally charged with a three-count indictment on September 16, 2024. Since then, he's been hit with three additional superseding indictments. Now, a superseding indictment in layman's terms is simply an amended indictment where the government or the state charging you can add charges, they can add victims, and they can add co-conspirators. This makes it harder for you to defend yourself at trial because now your lawyers have to decide how to properly defend you against whatever new allegations and evidence that's introduced in a new indictment. Well, in Diddy's case, the first two superseding indictments didn't even add any new charges. Now there were additional victims added, but it was still under the same three original uh, counts in the first indictment. Even in the latest indictment that came down on Friday, April 4th, two additional criminal charges were added, but they were both just an additional charge related only to victim number two, who has yet to be identified. Also, in this latest indictment, the feds still aren't telling us much more than anything that we already know. Now, I do want to make it clear that we don't know what evidence will be presented at trial against him, but as of now, it just seems like it's a very, very, very thin case against Diddy. And I wouldn't be shocked if he beats some or all of the charges. Also, want to make it clear that I'm not defending Diddy. If he committed the crime, then he certainly should do the time. No one is above the law, and it doesn't matter whether you are a quote unquote celebrity or have a lot of money. Again, criminals should face justice for their actions and should face the consequences for their actions as well. So there you have it. 5 reasons why I believe Diddy will walk. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. I'll be pretty interested to see what y'all say. With that being said, again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now I'll see you on the next one on according to the content. Peace out.